let's get into the weather forecast and let's take a look at what's going on here. Here's our wind chills overnight, and we are, obviously these temperatures will continue to slide. Lows are going to be generally in the minus 30 to minus possibly even 40s in some areas in the far northern parts of Minnesota. But generally you're looking at, minus 25 to minus 35 across much of the east, and mainly across the northern parts of the state, northeastern North Dakota, northern Minnesota. As you get a little bit further south, maybe they're going to be a little bit closer to the minus 20 to minus 30 range, but still pretty darn cold. And then off to the northwest, minus teens for wind chills, and then, single digits down to the southwest. So very cold temperatures expected overnight, so do bundle up. Take that blanket with you. Make sure you've got your hat and gloves and all that fun stuff. As we go into the day on Thursday, it does try to warm up with this next system that starts to move into the area. And then as we get into Thursday night and into Friday, again, temperatures just actually increase through the evening hours and improve as far as temperatures go and as far as wind chill goes. But then, as you can see, this starts to dive south, this cold, this purpley line where it gets below zero starts to move south as that cold front with this next system that moves through begins to move south, and it just cools things right off once again for us. So a little bit of reprieve on Thursday, mainly unfortunately over in the overnight hours on Thursday, but and then we get right back into the cold. Saturday morning, we're looking at wind chills, again in the minus 20s across much of eastern North Dakota, northern Minnesota. Tries to warm up again on Saturday, out ahead of this next system that wants to come through. And then once we get to the back end of here on Sunday morning, this next little wave is poised to come through. And once that drops south, that's probably going to be here for a little bit, for a few days, unfortunately, and will affect the whole region, will affect all of North Dakota and northern Minnesota as well. But we'll kind of check back in on that here in a bit. Here's that high pressure system, and that will continue to slide to the southeast overnight, keeping things clear, mainly in the east and northern Minnesota, keeping us cold. A little bit of snow possible out in the western parts of North Dakota. Not really expecting a whole lot there, but there is a kind of a weak warm front, I guess, kind of in through here. That'll probably, stir a little bit of, flurries out in that area in the early morning hours, but really nothing to worry about out there. That high pressure does kind of eventually move off to the southeast. Here's our next system Thursday night into, late Thursday evening into Thursday night. This is as of 6 p.m. now. You can see snow starts to move into the northwest, maybe even some rain as we take a look at the forecasted temperatures here. 36, 35 degrees predicted right now as of Friday or Thursday evening at 6 p.m. So above freezing down in the southwest. So this model does give a chance of some rain. It's possible if it does rain that there might be some areas where it won't be quite above freezing yet. And so I wouldn't be surprised if within this region here where it changes that you could actually get a little bit of freezing rain as well. Again, this is Thursday evening. As that system continues to push to the east, a little bit of more rain down in the southwest, and this is as of midnight Thursday night, early Friday morning, and by this time everything's turned over to snow and is now already in eastern parts of North Dakota. Temperature-wise, things do cool down. Most of the area kind of gets to that freezing mark or below, definitely below freezing, obviously out here in the east and northern Minnesota. So we're really expecting, snow to fall out ahead of this warm front and right before this cold front starts to dip on south. So winds out ahead of it will also be gusting. That's going to be the other issue. So now we've got the snow out here that's pushing off on the front side of this, and temperatures are trying to warm up, but along with that, we will see some gusty winds, 25, maybe up to 35, possibly even 40 miles per hour. So now, mind you, this is while it is snowing. So that's why, and this says as of midnight Thursday night, and that's when the winter storm watch effectively kicks in. So probably looking at some reduced visibilities in eastern North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota at this time as that pushes east. Now we're looking at 6 a.m. on Friday, still some gusty winds in northern Minnesota. And then that snow does move off to the east fairly fast, but this low pressure system starts to sag on south. And with that, this cold front will also sag south. Now, right along there, very much expecting some snow to continue. I kind of said that last night. Models don't always pick up some of the finer details, but I would very much expect, just because we do have a fair amount of cold air advection, a lot of cold air that is sagging south, that's probably going to kick off some additional snow showers as this does, move down to the south. So this is, again, Friday morning as of 6 a.m. And as we move this along into Friday right around noon, that cold front is now dipped down to southern parts of North Dakota. And you can see, they're trying to spot a little bit of snow there. So I would think, a lot of these areas kind of along and just a little ahead and somewhat behind. Probably see some very light snow showers at the very least with this. Not really going to pick up much for accumulation, especially those of you, in southern, south central, southwestern parts of North Dakota. Most of the accumulation is going to be further off to the east, but I would still be expecting some snow here, and actually even, the way it looks, lingering back into northeastern North Dakota as well. And again, this is as of the noon time frame. Now, the kicker of all this is, once we get to this time, this is noon. Let me back up a few frames and just see where this comes from. Look at these strong winds. Again, predicting gusts of 50 miles per hour again as it pushes through Minot and the Devil's Lake region and into Cooperstown and Carrington down to Valley City. Here it is at 9 a.m. Noon again across a good portion of the southern parts of North Dakota into eastern North Dakota, northern Minnesota, northwestern Minnesota anyway. It's a broken record, folks, but if this does come true, and it very well looks like we're going to be seeing gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, possibly even 60 miles per hour are actually possible with this. So very, very likely we're going to be seeing some blizzard conditions, especially after that snow moves through. We still have plenty of snow out here in the valley, out in northern parts of Minnesota. This strong of winds, it's going to be very difficult to see. Moving this along, this is as of 3 p.m. Does decrease. Those 50 mile per hour winds and greater do push into the central parts of Minnesota. Start to tailor off a little bit further north, but still we're looking at gusts of 35 to 40 miles per hour possible. That's still going to create blowing and drifting. That's not really going to go away anytime soon. 6 p.m. on Friday evening, again, trying to decrease. However, very likely we're still going to be seeing blowing and drifting. Just the visibilities might come up a little bit, but I would say the roadways just aren't going to recover in time. So overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning, those winds do die off. And then we have our next little system that tries to move in on Saturday. And out ahead of that, really nothing to show for it as far as precip-wise. Just some more gusty south winds. And those winds do kind of pick up as the day goes along on Saturday, as we'll kind of show you here. It does try to warm up. It does try to warm up on Saturday. But the only way, as I've said it 100 times, the only way to do that around here is to have gusty south winds. So temperatures will continue to warm Saturday into Saturday night, but the winds will also be, fairly strong out of the south with this. The system starts to slide to the east and south a little bit. Here we are looking at Saturday night. This is very early Sunday morning at 3 a.m. And here's the next cold front that wants to sag to the south. And with that, a little bit of snow. And I believe even the possibility this model, and there's been some other models here that have been showing rain associated with this. Possibly in the southwestern parts of North Dakota, but this far north, I just don't think it's going to happen. What the other models are showing, probably correctly, are freezing rain and sleet. And even one model shows some accumulating freezing rain in the Devil's Lake region. So I would be a little concerned here going into Saturday night, early Sunday morning, of the potential of some freezing rain and sleet to occur kind of in that north central parts of North Dakota. And then maybe even northeastern North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota as well through the nighttime hours. We'll see if that does occur, but boy, there's been a number of models here that have shown this. So we'll have to definitely keep an eye on that. That system moves to the south and to the east. That low kind of jets off to the east. This cold front tries to sag to the south. And here we are on Sunday morning. I'll take a look at here. And this is what we're seeing for accumulations through that time period. So you're looking at now through this system on Friday into Sunday morning. Not a whole lot, mostly an inch in northern parts of North Dakota. Most of the accumulating snow will occur across northern Minnesota. So once you get into that, again, no Roseau about at International Falls, you're looking at 2 to 3 inches possible with this on Friday. Even though it is a quick hitter, it's still going to kind of, it seems like once again, kind of increases as it pushes east. And the snow drops a little more, so you're probably looking at 2 to 3 inches in those areas. Maybe some locally local areas of 4 inches, but I wouldn't think you'll see much more than that. So again, this is through Sunday morning. Now, here's the problem. Here's this next little system that wants to come through, and I mentioned this yesterday. We have this low pressure system that's trying to dig into the western parts of the United States. Problem is, where exactly is this going to set up? I said last night, I think the heavier snow is going to push further south because it was across the southern parts of North Dakota. That is very much in the air, and I'll show you kind of the difference here. Now, what we're looking at is accumulated precipitation over a 6-hour period, and this is as of Sunday night at midnight. So right when this storm is kind of starting to ramp up in our area. This is one model, and you can see a little bit of light snow in through southern parts of North Dakota, but mostly it's right now back into the Wyoming and Montana area. The next little model, this is the one I've been showing you last night where it was further north. Now look how far south they are. I mean, most of the precip at this point is down in South Dakota and southern Minnesota. And that's the one that I showed you last night. Another model really doesn't have things ramping up, but it looks, or at this point anyway, but it looks like it wants to push most of the precip south. Yet another one, kind of the same. And most of these are like European models, Canadian models. They're all pushing things further south. Once we get to the American models, they're just a tad to the north, except for the UK Met. That's a different one. So, so here you can see they're just right now a majority of them showing the precip south of the North Dakota border, but I wouldn't rule out the potential still of some accumulating snow across the south. We will see exactly how that pans out, but just the next system that has to be watched out for. we'll take a look at the model that we were kind of looking at last night and just see how this essentially, moves things along compared to last night. There's our little system that moves in on Friday, drops some snow, brings some wind, high pressure settles in. Here comes that low pressure on Saturday. And here's where I was talking, one of the models depicting out some rain and snow and freezing rain. This particular model does it across much of northern North Dakota. So again, something to watch out for on Saturday and into Saturday night. That one dips down to the south and then eventually kicks off to the east-northeast. And then this high pressure system off here really, at least in this model, tries to smush things down to the south. It really does a belly flop on everything. Where it was predicting snow more, just in the southern areas, it's kind of strengthened this high a little bit more, or made the high a little more dominant. And that really pushes that low further south and keeps the snow further south. So good thing as far as snow goes. However, I know there are plenty of people down in the southwest that they're starting to get a little worried. Definitely, they're dry from last summer. Now they're dry over the winter. They're going to be looking for some sort of precip, and even if it has to fall in the form of snow, I think they're going to take it. So the good and the bad there, you avoid the cold snow. The bad is, once again, you're going to miss out on the precipitation. As we click this model along, as we see now, here we're in that southwest flow from the upper levels, and we finally get a reprieve from the everyday storm. The bad thing is, like I said earlier, because this high pressure does just kind of settle in here, we're going to be looking at a number of days of, just colder temperatures. By the back end, once we get into more so Saturday, it tries to rebound, but not quite as quickly as was showing before. But I would expect by the weekend, we should see some of those temperatures rebounding a little bit. Taking a look at the accumulated snowfall, again, from this particular model anyway, from the ECMWF, showing all the snow down in South Dakota, and then with the couple of systems that kind of move through the north, 1 to 3 inches, maybe some isolated 4. And here I'll show you where this model kind of pumps up a little bit of freezing rain. And this was as of Saturday night. So in that Devil's Lake Basin. And boy, a lot of freezing rain expected down in the south east of our area. So, all right. That's the recap right now. Once again, as always, please like, please share. Just the more people that watch and start to catch on to this little project that I've got going on, the better. Watch out for the roadways on Thursday night through Friday, especially across northern North Dakota and eastern North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. Those areas are going to be, they're not going to be good. I think we're going to be upgrading this to at least a winter storm warning, and eventually there's going to be some areas that are going to have a blizzard warning. So very, very likely. I know my daughter has a basketball game up in northern Minnesota, and I think that's probably not going to happen. We've canceled quite a few games this year, and I know they would really probably like to get another one in. But boy, I don't know if that's going to happen. Just take a look at a couple more things here if I can find what I'm looking for. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. I will be back on tomorrow night again, and then very likely I will be back on Friday, just because there, like I said, probably won't be a basketball game, so I'll be here on Friday to take a look at what's going on with the storm. So everybody stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.